Hello adventurers and welcome back to my channel. Today we're in Hot Springs, Arkansas at the Josephine Tussauds Wax Museum. Now this isn't like the wax museums that we've been to before on the channel. No, this one's a little bit different. And I'll go with the word retro. Retro's a good word. I'll show you why. This is Josephine Tussauds. Yeah, this lady right here. And if you look at her eyes, they're kind of creepy. And before we even get inside, look at this. These are some of the molds that they've used to make some of the people. Can you tell who this guy is? And did you know that all of the hair is inserted one by one and is real human hair? But enough of that. Let's head inside and see what characters we can identify. I've heard that some of them are spot on. Some of them not so much. But let's find out. First up we have Steve McQueen, and he is here on one of the bikes right here. Look at that, that's a Honda. There he is. Now something that brought me here was actually this next thing. It's called the Stairway of the Stars, and it has some of the biggest celebrities that you might know. Up this stairway, do you recognize any of these famous people? Well, right in the front, it's a young Barack Obama. Next up there's Jimmy Carter, and then Clark Gable, and then Mae West. This is like a Cleopatra version of Elizabeth Taylor. I could see maybe the eyes, maybe. Sophia Loren, yeah, maybe. Louis Armstrong, okay, kind of makes sense with the music that's playing. And at the top of the escalator, you have Jesus. Now, as we go through this area, if you listen, they actually are telling the story of the Last Supper, which is kind of neat. And I only assume that as we go into different exhibits, they're going to have some details also. So let's go find out more. Now this is supposed to be Carrie Nation, and there's some information about Carrie Nation in a little plaque at the bottom here. But it's kind of cool because everything in this room that Carrie Nation is featured in actually is real life stuff that came from the gambling club. Wow. Behind these bars right here, it is none other than Frank and Jesse James, and it looks like they're robbing the bank. Yep. Doesn't look like it's gonna go well for the bank. Do we like a good scare? Yeah, sure we do. Are we sure what to expect at this wax museum? Not at all. This could be bad, guys. This could be very bad. We start off with the man himself. This is Alfred Hitchcock, and he has this daunting look to him, like we're about to see something absolutely terrifying. Dark and spooky, yes it is. And right away it says on the wall here, iron cage. Okay, so apparently this was a torture device. Good times, good, not so good times. It might be dark in here, but I still definitely see Frankenstein. And next to him, ooh, that is terrifying. He looks like he just ate something. Okay, so I really don't like that they used to do this with caskets. This was like a real life thing. Yeah, that was not cool, guys. Not cool. Okay, we're passing by some really kind of things that I don't feel comfortable showing you guys on YouTube. So come and see them if you want. I'm gonna go down this creepy hall with this pendulum that is swinging. I don't know why I'm doing this. Okay, so everything in this hall is absolutely blood and guts gory. Yeah, that's disgusting and disturbing. Okay, so now that we made it out of there, and I'm sorry, I couldn't show you some of that stuff, guys. We're now going on to the presidential assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, that's a wax figure too. Here you see the Ford Theater booth and President Lincoln and his wife right there. And then in the back is John Wilkes Booth. We all know what happened next, guys. We all know what happened next. The light isn't doing her a lot of favors, but she looks like she's gonna move at any second. Like, in real life, I am low-key thinking she's a person. Okay, this is George Washington, and I think that he looks pretty good. Like, he's not too far off from his little picture that we've seen at the Smithsonian right here. So I think that the costume is really good. The face, he just looks kind of sad. But you'd probably be sad too, though, if you lived when George Washington did. And then above us, we enter the Hall of the Battles, and who better to kick that one off than Napoleon, the man behind the Napoleon complex. Teddy Roosevelt on his horse, and this is from San Juan Hill. And you've probably seen that at the museum. These two guys look a little bit different. But then again though, this guy was here way before Robin Williams. Now this grouping of men is a little different, and the scene is a lot chaotic. Look at this. You can definitely tell this was a war scene. In the background even, you can see the city looks like it's in pieces and shambles. And then above, look at that. This one is the tale of two generals. So on one side you have Robert E. Lee, and on the other side you have Ulysses S. Grant. And it's kind of interesting, they rotate so you can see both of them. It's kind of cool. Now this is a scene that depicts the founding of Hot Springs, and officially it was documented by Hernando de Soto in 1541. So I'm assuming this is De Soto, and then that's one of the Native Americans that was already in the area. And then this is what one of the hot springs would have looked like in its natural setting. You can actually find some of these still around the park, kind of still looking like this. And then here we have one of the iconic families, and this is the Kennedy family. Right here you have Edward Kennedy, which would be Ted. Of course, there was JFK, there was Robert, and then there's Jackie in the back. In this case, we have the Clintons, and they're actually from here in Arkansas, with Bill growing up in Hot Springs. So this is probably pretty special, especially for the community, knowing that they had someone who grew up right here turn into one of the nation's leaders. We are now entering the Royal Grand Hall. Look at this, guys. This is actually Pat Nixon and Richard Nixon, Prince Charles and Diana, and then you have Her Royal Highness Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. And a royal family cannot be without their crown jewels. So these are replicas of some of the crown jewels that we have seen represented. That's pretty neat. Across from them they have Marie Antoinette and Louis the 16th right there. And Elizabeth I, she was tiny, guys. If this is a life replica of her, this woman was minuscule tiny. Henry VIII, I am. That's him right there in the corner. And Anne Boleyn. I've heard some stories about her. Yeah, those weren't good stories. Right here is Martin Luther King, and if you listen to the speaker overhead, you can hear his most remembered speech of all time, the I Have a Dream speech. Look at this, it is Neil Armstrong, the first man to walk on the moon, right there. And he is in a nice representation of his spacesuit. And if it weren't for these guys right here, he would have never had that opportunity. This is Orville and Wilbur Wright. And we all know Albert Einstein. What is baffling to me is most people think that Albert Einstein was alive like a long time ago. But in reality, like, it wasn't that long ago, guys. Not that long ago at all. And these are his little sandals. Aren't they fun? Like for real, guys. He died in 1955, which I know, to a lot of people that still seems like forever ago. But in our minds, for some reason, we've tricked ourselves to thinking he was like in the 1800s or something. I feel like this is somewhere between young Elvis and old Elvis. I'm not sure what age this would be exactly. Down these stairs we have the world of make-believe. Look who it is, it's Rumpelstiltskin. Do you remember the story of Rumpelstiltskin? And look, she's back there asleep. And in this scene we have Mark Twain and his most infamous characters. That's Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn. And I think this is kind of interesting because originally Mark Twain here, he was from neighboring Missouri. He actually grew up in the Hannibal area, and he said that the Hannibal area is what inspired him to create the story that we most know him for right here. There's actually some places in Hannibal that you can visit, and you can see the fence that supposedly inspired him about this scene right here in particular. It's Johnny Depp! Wow, okay. So I didn't know Johnny Depp was gonna be here. This is a newer character, and he is of course from Pirates of the Caribbean. What is this? Oh my goodness. I have entered a world of fairy tales, and I want to join. I really actually want to get in this pumpkin carriage. Like, for real, it looks fun. And of course, you can't have a pumpkin carriage without Cinderella. Cinderella looks super youthful and almost fairy-like. Her dress is absolutely fun. Look at all of those ruffles. And then there is the fairy godmother herself right there. No way. I see Geppetto's toy shop, which means Pinocchio is here. Yes! Now, of course, in the land of fairy tales and fantasy, everything can be a little larger than life, a little different. And so seeing stuff like this is just super fun. So I'm really happy that they have this kind of area in addition to the upstairs area, because it's just really knocking it out of the park down here. Like, I want to ride in the carriage, I want to play with Pinocchio, and I definitely want to sit down at this table that I'm going to show you in just a minute. And while we're here, let's talk about these right here. These are located at every display. And if we get a little closer, you can see that it has a brief description of what the scene is. And it also has some facts about the character themselves. Super neat. Now this one does say press the button, so I think we shall. Who are you? Their faces are so funny. Now, I think these are probably taller than they would have been in the cartoons, but this is fun. This is so fun. Now, this is totally the table that I want to sit down at and have a tea party. This is Alice in Wonderland and some of my favorite characters. Look at that. Happy kind of looks like that guy at Ripley's who can bulge his eyeballs, but he looks super happy doing it. This entire display just makes me want to sing hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to work we go. Yeah, that would be a great thing to sing about now. Now, as we enter this brighter room, I just wanted to stop for a moment. The building that we're in was actually once known as the Southern Club, and it has a rich history here in the Hot Springs area of an entertainment pub, as well as a place that you could come in and gamble. It's kind of a crazy story, but as you enter into this section of the Wax Museum, they actually tell you a little bit more about it. You can see some of the photos, the articles, and things like that. And then upstairs next to Elvis, they have some of the original like gambling stuff that they had used, and there's one of the bathrooms that is opened up so you can kind of look at it and see what it might have looked like at that time. So like right here you can find some of the things that might have been around at the time that this was the Southern Club, including some redacted FBI files where they had actually come in and investigated the mob ties that Hot Springs has. There's a whole museum here that we're gonna have to go to on another day about all the mobsters, and the stories are insane, guys. Look at this, they have invoices all the way from Chicago, cigars, racehorse information. Wow, these are awesome. Like, so many things, guys. Kind of crazy, this one right here says, witnesses are missing. Crooked roulette in court. Okay, so this is some of the stories of the corruption that happened right here in Hot Springs. Okay, this right here is Al Capone. Al Capone was known for being in Hot Springs, and they even have a statue of him in town that you can take photos with. Some of the slot machines that you would have played at the Southern Club, 5 cents. Right there. Some of the original dice from the casino in Hot Springs. Okay guys, that is it for the museum itself. So as always, we exit through the gift shop and we have this nice little turnstile to do so. Super fun. Boy, oh boy, is it bright in here. Wow. And of course they have your typical souvenirs. They have postcards and shirts and cool stuff. It's Hot Springs, so there's stuff galore. But I think this one's my favorite. The boarding pass. That's pretty cute. Okay guys, that is it for the Josephine Tussauds Wax Museum. What did you think? There are some characters in there that look spot on. There's others who are a little bit more laughable, but this place has been around since the 60s. It is not affiliated with the Madame Tussauds or even the Louis Tussauds. It's not affiliated with any of the other wax museums. It's a standalone here in Hot Springs, but it is a little gem on the main strip here. Definitely encourage you guys to come and check it out for yourself. There's a few things I didn't show you, so come in, explore, enjoy yourself. And today, if you've enjoyed the video, make sure that you leave a like, hit the subscribe, and check out my other videos, not only here in Hot Springs, but across the US. I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Bye guys.